All right, welcome to Shine Your Light. One more episode. Today we have the special guest, my bestest buddy in the whole wide world, Jimmy Fasig, is joining us today. Welcome, Jimmy.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me, Bert. I'm super excited to be here.
So, for those of you that don't know Jimmy, and I appreciate him coming on today. He has such a powerful story, and he's been such an inspiration to me as a friend, and has helped me through so many different situations in my life. And but I need to let everybody understand a little bit about Jimmy. We're going to talk today with Jimmy about shining his light because he is one dude that is out there doing it. He is shining his light, being an inspiration to others, and also holding others up to help them shine their light. Yes. And that to me is the powerful thing that he does with every day. Every single day he's out there. So what Jimmy does and his background is that he went through a time where he was a convicted felon and went through difficulties of rebounding after that, after going through so much, being able to establish himself as one of the premier attorneys in the entire Southeast of the United States. And let me just tell you, after going through all that and establishing his goals, going through the difficulties of being in prison and establishing his goals and coming out swinging, coming out fighting, and coming out and beating the odds and taking hold of his life and being an inspiration to others now. And even, just all those different circumstances that surround that have now led him to lead others. Every morning at 5 a.m., bam, this guy has a group that they're out there swinging. I join it sometimes when I'm able to wake up early enough to jump in there. And but Jimmy, I want you to share about your Comeback Stronger and what and your Comeback Stronger movement, because it started to blossom and it's only been where you've started this in the last year. Share a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, that's a great introduction, man. Thank you so much, Bert. I appreciate you, brother. This is awesome. This is really exciting. Yes, look, my mission in life is to help people overcome challenges and come back stronger. And the reason that I was gifted that mission is because I gave myself some major challenges by being a drug dealer, getting arrested, going to prison for 2.5 years. So I put these major obstacles in my own path, and I had to figure out how to overcome those obstacles. And I did. I overcame those obstacles within 5 years of getting out of prison. I was a lawyer and a partner of the law firm that I am now the managing partner of, and one of the most successful law firms definitely in this area. So it's very, very exciting stuff. So the mission is to help people overcome challenges and come back stronger. The message is this. This is the most important thing, Bert, is that no matter, your past does not decide your future.
Right.
It's the decisions that you make right now that determine your future. And the best, most powerful thing someone can do is take whatever pain they've had from the past, whatever challenges that they've had from the past, and use that to fuel your fire to develop a mission in life. Because everything that's ever happened to you up until this moment right now has been building your character, building your strength, building your wisdom, so that you can use that as a platform, as a launch pad for greatness, so that you can go to work making this world a better place, and at the same time building the life of your dreams. That's the whole message in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And so
I
Yes.
love that. Now, I got to tell you, because we're both high energy guys, and
Yes.
I know that you deal with this all the time because people ask you this all the time. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there because people sit there and they go, "Look, Jimmy, gosh, you're so much energy. You've got so much going on. You've overcome all this stuff. I'm just not in that place. I can't get there. Just everything doesn't work for me. Every turn that I make, it's not working for me." What do you
Mm-hmm.
say to those folks?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, first of all, I love talking to those folks because I've been there, man. I know exactly what they're talking about. At the end of the day, the answer to that is this: you can turn everything around right now, but it starts with a decision. A decision, not just a decision, but a decision with commitment. And so there are several challenges that confront people when making that decision, because everybody says, okay, well, then I decided, I'm done. No, you've got to commit. But what keeps people from actually acting on that decision is a core belief about whether or not they're able, whether or not it's possible for them to turn everything around. So the first step in any growth process is changing from the inside out. You have to become the type of person that will achieve the goals that you want to achieve. You're not going to be able to fake it. They say fake it till you make it. Yes, you do fake it till you make it. But at the end of the day, you have to change from the inside out. And that means examining your core beliefs and discarding all of your disempowering beliefs. Any belief that you have about yourself that puts limitations on you, about what you cannot do, that is a lie. It is a complete 100% lie. You've been living a lie. I remember distinctly when I was in high school and I got terrible grades in high school, absolutely terrible grades. And I barely graduated by the skin of my teeth. My counselor was asking me how she could get a hold of my dad because she was going to tell him I wasn't going to graduate. She didn't want him showing up at the graduation and being disappointed. And I said, no, I'm going to graduate. And so I ended up graduating barely, but I always thought that I was less intelligent than the average person. I really thought this in my heart. And I remember when I was I was in sixth grade and I told my parents when they called me out for getting deficiency notices in one of my classes. And I said, I'm stupid. I'm just stupid. And I'm just crying, tears coming down my eyes. And I'm convincing myself that I'm dumber than the average person, less intelligent than the average person, because I was trying to make excuses as to why I wasn't performing at my maximum level. So I literally convinced myself of that. And then there was a moment after high school when I was working at McDonald's in the morning making Egg McMuffins and Burger King at night making Whoppers. And I said, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not the life I want to live. This is not the life I want to live. And so there was a turning point when my mom bought me these motivational tapes by Brian Tracy. And Brian Tracy said, look, any limitations you put on yourself, throw them out the window. You have been living a lie. If another human being can do it, you can do it too. And you have talents and you have gifts and abilities that no other human being on the planet has. And that you were given those gifts because you were meant to use them. And so I started listening to these tapes, going back and forth to work every day. And next thing you know, I said, you know what? I'm going to believe it. And I'm going to try it. And I said, I'm going to be a lawyer. And I ended up making the decision that I don't want to live like that anymore. And almost every time you see a comeback story, Bert, almost every time you see somebody who really came back stronger from being down here to going up there, there was a momentous decision when they said, I have had enough. I am no longer going to take this anymore. Never, ever will I accept this as a reality for my life. So anyway, I did that and I said, okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to at least try it. I'm going to give my Boy Scouts effort and I'm going to do my very best. And so what it required of me was changing my mentality of who I was. And I said, okay, I'll go to the community college and I'll do the remedial classes. and I will work my butt off and try my best to make straight A's, because I knew that if I was going to be in law, get to law school, I decided I wanted to be a lawyer. And I said, I knew if I want to go to law school, I have to make good grades. Went to the community college, breezed through because I had a goal, because I had a purpose. I breezed through the community college classes and the remedial classes to get me ready for college level. And then my first semester with real college classes, I made straight A's. And that was when I knew for sure, this is going to work. I'm going to actually be a lawyer. It was after that, just people are probably wondering now, well, when did you go to prison? I went to prison actually I got arrested for trafficking cocaine and marijuana during law school. So I had already gotten to law school. I was there, I was on the path. But at that point, I still had lessons I needed to learn. And so I ended up going down the wrong path, and I ended up learning those lessons the hard way. But now I'm super grateful for I'm super grateful for my prison experience, because it taught me so much about life itself.
Yeah. Well, I want you to, God, there's just so much to get in, I mean, your goal setting, when you went through and you spent that time in prison, you said, I'm not going to sit there and let this define me.
Oh no.
And this is not going to be, I'm not going to be this guy that this is my defining moment. This is just, I'm going to come out of this punching. So you set goals while you were in prison. Talk about that.
Yes. So this is how I became a lawyer and a partner in a law firm within 5 years of my release from prison. So when I decided to go to law school, at first, I learned how to set goals. I listened to the tapes by Brian Tracy about goal setting. So I knew all about setting goals. But I decided when I was in prison that I was going to become a better man, that I was going to change everything about me, and that I was going to set those goals. And I wrote down my goals every single day. And so I wrote down several goals. One, by December 31st, 2005, I am a lawyer. I am a partner in a law firm. I own my own house. I have perfect credit, and I own a convertible Mercedes SL 500. And so I ended up, so fast forward, I get released from prison. Fast forward 5 years, I've been working my tail off. I jump through all these hoops to prove to the Florida bar that I've been rehabilitated. I start working as a paralegal at a law firm. I start busting my tail, become head paralegal. I'm working my tail off. I'm knocking out my goals one by one. 5 years later, in September of 2005, I got a letter from the Florida bar saying that I've been accepted to the Florida bar unconditionally. They had accepted my evidence and my proof of rehabilitation. And that very same week, the senior partner of the firm I had been working at for 5 years offered me a partnership. He offered me 10% of the partnership, and I negotiated it up to 20%. So I started off my very first year as a lawyer, 20% owner of a well-established law firm, because they saw how much work I put in as a paralegal, and I had made myself indispensable as a paralegal. My very first year as a lawyer, I made $226,000. First year as a lawyer. Isn't that fantastic? So anyway, that's essentially, though, it most people want to know how I did it, when the answer is staying focused on a master goal. And that's what I encourage every single person to do. My master goal a master goal is a single goal that you can state in one sentence. And that it is stated in first person. You use I at the beginning. I am the partner of a law firm by December 31st, 2005. You use I at the beginning, you have a date at the end, by December 31st, 2005, and you state your goal. And this is a big goal that is long-term. In my case, it was a 5-year goal, and it is the kind of goal that if you achieve this goal, then all your other goals will really fall into place, or most of your other goals will fall into place. So I knew that if I became a partner of a law firm, that well, then I'm going to have the house, the cars, and everything else that I wanted. So that was the key. I had a master goal. I wrote it down over and over. I took it, and my wife actually framed it in a picture frame, put it by the bedside, and we kept it. We kept it by the bedside, and I thought about every morning and every night. I'm constantly using my master goal as a compass to direct my thoughts and actions throughout the day. And so I knew that in order to become a partner in the law firm, I had to make myself indispensable. So I took advantage of every opportunity to take the workload off of the partners of the law firm, so that by the time I became a member of the bar, they didn't want to get rid of me. They couldn't imagine their lives without me. I'm working 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. till midnight some days. I was an insane worker, but it all paid off, because now we've got offices. Now I'm the managing partner, and I've got offices in Orlando, Jacksonville, and Tallahassee.
Right on. Right on. Hey, I got to show everybody, because everybody doesn't know how close we are. I got to show that this is what my best friend gets me. Okay. He gives me my goals that I have written, and he gives them to me in a right here.
I love it. I love it. I forgot about that. That is so cool, man. That is so cool. I'm so glad you still have that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's my goals list right there that Jimmy framed for me, that sits by my bedside over here. By the way, my goal was to be at 210, weight, and I'm now at 204.
Bam! And looking good, looking amazing. Yes. Love it. Love it.
95. I'll go and redid those goals. But okay, you've had an amazing life with. I want to go into something that a lot of people just don't understand. Why you did this one thing, and it is an interesting thing that a lot of people bring up to you, and you're so gracious, and you listen to them, and never really explain yourself, and just let them go with whatever their theory or whatever it is about the reasoning behind why you did it. So you were on America's Got Talent.
Yes.
Okay.
I was on America's Got Talent. I sure was.
And
yes. You want me to tell that story?
Yeah, I want you to tell this story, but I want you to tell this story, and then I want to talk about it. Okay.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I'll tell the story. So essentially, all right, I'm just going to keep it real. I'll tell you exactly what happened.
Yep.
I had in 2009, I had a moment while I was meditating where it was what I would consider the most, up to that point in my life, the most incredible experience I ever had, where I was meditating, and then all of a sudden I felt like something had come over me. And I started taking these deep breaths, and the next thing you know, I was completely breathless, and I was getting this incredible feeling. I was tingling all over my body, and I got this incredible, what I call a download of information, that it was almost like God was talking to me. And so but it wasn't a voice in my head. It was just like I could feel the love of divinity coming down on me. And so what I started to understand during this, it was like 20 minutes it lasted. It was the most incredible experience ever. And what I started to understand is that everything is exactly as it's supposed to be, that there are no accidents, that there is a plan here, and that the plan is 100% driven by love, that we are loved and protected and cherished and nourished every moment of every day, and that the challenges that we face in life, the pain that we experience in life, and this life can be very painful, but the pain we experience is temporary, but the benefits that we learn from those lessons are eternal. And that's the game plan here.
Right.
And so pain is temporary, but it gives us contrast. It gives depth and meaning to our eternal lives of joy and happiness. this is what I'm starting to feel. I feel that humanity is evolving to a higher state of consciousness, that where we are starting to understand that we're all connected, that we're all connected, that we're all in this together, and that love is the overall pervading energy of the universe. Okay, this is all coming to me during my meditation. So I get this message, and I start thinking to, of course, it was a great experience. So I'm trying to meditate every day to, to repeat the experience. But I'm also thinking about, wow, what can I do to spread the word? How can I spread this message as much as I possibly can? It's just a message of love. It's a message of, it's a good news kind of message. And so I thought, well, what better way than to go on national TV with a rap, with a good message. And so I decided I made up a rap. I made up this character called Metatron. And I went and tried out for America's Got Talent in Atlanta. And at the end of the day, there were all sorts of people there, contortionists and singers and rappers. And I mean, it was just an amazing experience. So I went and I did my rap for the panel of 3 people. And I was wearing a white tuxedo, and they immediately told me, congratulations, you made it to the second interview or the second audition. And so I was like, oh man, this is awesome. And then, so the next thing you know, that evening I did the second audition. And then literally right after that, they said, all right, congratulations, you made it onto the show. I mean, there are literally hundreds and maybe thousands of people that were in this line. The line went all the way around the building, so it could have been thousands of people. And I made it onto the show, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. And so that's what got me onto the show. Now, the bad news is, so that's all exciting and great, but the bad news was that I got on the show, and before I got on the show, I had given them some music to use. And so for my rap, I had a rap and I had the music. I gave them some music, but they wanted to change it because they wanted to make the copyright. So that they wouldn't violate copyright laws. They wanted to change it so that it was their music and they wouldn't get in trouble for copyright infringement. And so they changed it, and they gave me a CD, and they gave me 2 hours to practice with this CD. And so I couldn't make the rap work with the music. And I tried and tried. And so I was panicking at the end. Is it's time for me to go on? I'm going on in Atlanta in front of Piers Morgan, Howie Mandel, and Sharon Osbourne. And they're like, it's time to go, man. Let's go. And I was like, all right, fine. I'm just going to do it without music. So I get out there and I tell them, I'm Metatron, Angel of Light. I told them I'm a personal injury lawyer in real life, but I'm Metatron, Angel of Light. The crowd starts booing before I even start speaking or start rapping. And then as soon as I start rapping, they buzz me. And then as they were making fun of me, I walked off the stage and I actually fell off of the stage. So biggest, most embarrassing moment of my life, no doubt about it. But I will tell you this. I'm very proud of myself. I learned a lot of lessons from it. And I'm extremely proud of myself because I took that risk, man. I took the risk. And that is part of being successful. That's part of the reason why I have made it to where I am today, is because I'm willing to take risks. And I encourage everybody, challenge yourself, fail. And as my buddy Connor Miller says it like this, he says, fail early, fail often, and fail forward, because the failures that you have light the path to success. The failures light the path to success. So I'm glad that I did it, but it was embarrassing for me. It was embarrassing for my family. It was embarrassing for my law partners. But there were a lot of lessons jam packed into it. So yes.
I think it's one of the most powerful stories that there is. And that is the reason that I love that story so much, is that the lack of fear that you showed in doing that and knowing that you're just trying to find the biggest venue to share the most powerful thing that you've ever witnessed, and trying to share that, and the word about that, and how to help other people
Yes.
get into that message, and possibly it happened to them as well. And you
Yes.
say, because you're no singer, you
Right.
haven't been out on any kind
Right.
of venue like that. You've never been on stage before. That's why you didn't know where the stage lights were. That's why you were blinded by those lights. You were trying to get in front of them because you've never been on stage before.
Yeah.
To me, that powerful, being able to go out there and put yourself out there. There are few people in this entire planet that will go through that length to try to help their fellow human beings understand and appreciate, and try to be able to know that kind of a good positive message and how powerful it could be. To just try to share it is
Yeah.
absolutely one of your best and brightest stories that
Oh, well, I appreciate that, Bert. I very much appreciate it, man. It took a while before, and here's the thing about failures, about challenging yourselves. When you get to the point that you can be grateful for your failures, and not just your failures, but the pain that you've gone through, the challenges that you faced. But when you get to the point where you can be grateful for that, your entire life changes. And so the way to do it is to realize that all the negative things that have ever happened to you in your life have been building your strength and building your wisdom so that you can start right now becoming or moving forward toward building the life of your dreams. And the key is making this world a better place. That's what it's all about. So I'm glad that I went through that, man. I'm extremely, at this point, I'm extremely grateful for my prison experience. I'm extremely grateful for the Metatron experience, the America's Got Talent, and literally I have stories about the bad people that I grew up with, that were really kind of evil people that I grew up with, and I've gotten to the point where I'm grateful for them now. And extremely grateful for them, because I knew that they taught me the lessons I needed to learn to become the man that I've become. One of the greatest things that people do that are evil and mean for us is they teach us who we don't want to be. I gotta tell you, man, there are people in my life that have shown me very clearly who I don't want to be, and thank God for them, because I'm a father now of 3 kids. And I feel like I'm a great father. I'm a fantastic father. I can say that with clear confidence. And it's because I have something to compare myself to of other people that I've seen in my life that have maybe not basically shown me who I don't want to be. So that's essentially the message, which, by the way, I'm going to take now a moment to plug my book.
yes,
Which is,
yes, thank you.
yes,
Bring it. Yep.
yes. And this is the message of the book. It's called When Life Knocks You Down, Come Back Stronger. And so I wrote this book because I think I want everybody to know that your power lies in your past, but but your past does not dictate your future. And so this is an essential story that I tell in the book. I tell all about my past, and I give a lot of little stories that illustrate the point. But I think the most important point to make is that there is a reason, there's a purpose behind. We are here for a reason. We are here for a purpose. That purpose is to come into knowing our true power. And every single person on earth, every person, is infinitely powerful. You and I, Bert, we talk about this all the time, the idea of the butterfly effect, which is it's simple. It's a simple mathematical thing, which basically says that the that the flap of a butterfly on one side of the planet, the flap of a butterfly wing on one side of the planet can change the weather on the other side, which basically the idea is tiny little changes in conditions can make huge changes in the world, because the reality we experience is basically is connected. It's everything is interconnected. So every time I move my little finger, the entire universe has to shift to accommodate me. Every thought that I have, every thought that you have, every there's a domino effect that affects everybody in the entire universe. And I feel like if people understood their true power, because we're changing the world, people are like, I want to change the world. Well, you are changing the world.
That's right.
You're changing the world every moment of every day, with every decision you make, with every thought that you allow to arise into your mind, with every word that comes out of your mouth. You are absolutely 100 changing and shaping the world. You are the hub of your own universe, and your power is infinite. I want everybody, this is the purpose of this book, I want everybody to understand how powerful you are. And I want you to understand that you matter. And what you do matters, what you say matters, what you think matters, down to the thoughts that you allow to rise in your head. It matters. Every single little choice. So that's what the purpose of the book is. And I feel like people that have read it, I'm starting to get some 5-star reviews on Amazon. So people that have read it have given me extremely good feedback. So I would encourage everybody to get a copy of the book, read it. Let me know what you think about it.
Man, that is powerful stuff. You know, I believe also that each individual is the center of the universe.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about it. We're all the center of our own universe. And when I came to that realization, I started to realize not only are we affecting everybody else with everything that we do, but we are also creating our own reality by the beliefs that we allow to occupy our mind, and by the energy that we're putting out there, and that the reality we experience is really nothing more than a reflection of who we are on the inside. And that's why you've got people on this same planet. You got some people that are living in abject hell, that are absolutely miserable and suffering and going through an absolute nightmare of a life. And then you've got other people that are living like myself, for example. I mean, I live my life. My life is unbelievable. Live in a gorgeous house with 3 beautiful daughters and a beautiful wife that loves me and that I love. It's like an unbelievably great life right here on the same planet as other people that are really suffering. And so it's a reflection of my life right now, is a reflection of who I am on the inside. And there's always the opportunity. The beauty of it is I'm a perfect example and I remember times when I was really ugly on the inside. And my life was ugly too.
Right.
Well, I'll give you an example. And this is another story that I don't know how much time we have, but I'll take, this is a true story. Yeah. When I was a drug dealer, I had what I thought every man wants, which is I had money in my, I was making money selling drugs, had money in my pocket. I had a beautiful girlfriend that was, that I was actually in love with. I had all sorts of people who I called friends around me, and I was going on vacations. I had everything that you think that you want materially in this life. And so I remember going to Mexico on vacation, and I was in a hotel, and we were at one of the top floors, and I went out onto the balcony of this hotel, and it was after a night of partying, and I remember looking over the edge of the balcony, and I could see this. It was on the beach, and there was beautiful crystal blue water and this beautiful sandy beach with all these suntan people down there, and they were all having a great time. And it was a gorgeous day. I mean, couldn't beat the weather. And I've got money in my pocket, and I'm in this beautiful hotel room. And I just remember looking over that balcony and thinking to myself, if I jumped off this balcony right now, the world would be a better place. And I'm getting choked up thinking about it. And I started to cry, and I literally started sobbing right then and there. And it was a pivotal moment for me, because I realized from that no matter what you have materially, if you don't feel like you are contributing to the benefit of humanity, if you don't feel like you're making the world a better place, you're never going to feel happy and fulfilled. And in those silent moments when you're alone and you don't have all the noise and the distractions and everything, you're going to feel that. And I sat there and I cried for a while. I don't know how long I cried, but I cried, man. And then, Bert, it was only a couple weeks later that I ended up getting arrested. And I think there's a connection there, because there was a connection there. There was a blessing, a huge blessing, that I got arrested. That turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. And it turned out to be one of the most powerful lessons I've ever learned. So I use that lesson every day.
And Jimmy, I tell you, we could sit here for a long time going over all of the beautiful experiences that we both have had. Mm-hmm. And I tell you that I love you so much. You are my bestest buddy, and I just think you are doing so much good out there, and pinging off of everybody your beautiful positivity, and sharing your just these very pivotal moments that have happened in your own life. Mm-hmm. That help people understand that it ain't all cotton candy and sweet dreams and everything. And you do put some effort into it.
Oh yeah.
And the effort that you put into it compounds, and that it will snowball, and it'll start to get a little easier and a little easier as you chugga and get to that. But you got to start.
100%. Well, one part of the message that I want to put out there is that it's exactly what you're talking about, and which is this: constantly feeding your mind and feeding yourself with positive, uplifting material. Which like, for example, anybody that's watching this, that's exactly what you're doing right now. This is positive, uplifting material. Also, reading books like this or any other self-help books. That's what I did during my time in prison. And then the other part is joining groups and getting together with other people that have a positive mentality, that have a growth mentality, that are trying to make this world a better place. I do want to put this plug in there, Bert. I have a Facebook group. It's called Fasig Brooks Come Back Stronger. It's the Fasig Brooks Come Back Stronger Facebook group. If anybody wants to join the group, it's a really great place with a lot of positivity. I'm posting on there all the time. A lot of other cool people are posting there all the time. So I would encourage everybody to join that group. It's a private group, so you'll have to ask to join it. But as long as you're not a robot, I'll let you in.
Well, that's it. And you're up to, man, that's a lot of folks you're in there. And you've only started that in the last couple of months or so.
Just started a couple months ago. We're almost up to 3,000 members of the group. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah.
You have some really good participants in there sharing their I got to say, you got some really powerful shares in there too.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about communicating and connecting with people that are going places and that they want to uplift you, instead of the people that you find, like when I was in prison, they wanted to drag you back down. I couldn't share my goals with anybody. I couldn't share my dreams. If I did, they'd laugh at me. You know, they would say, "You think you're going to be a lawyer in 5 years? You're a convicted felon. You're never going to be a lawyer." Right. That's the kind of thing you would hear in prison. But one of the most important things we can do for ourselves is join groups and be parts of, create friendships with people that are gonna motivate you and uplift you and make you feel like you can do anything.
Right.
Which is
Right.
how you make me feel, Bert, by the way. I want you to know that.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you. I only make you feel good when you're beating me at ping pong. That's what it is.
Oh, you mean all the time, basically.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, you're up on me, but I'm practicing. I'm
Oh,
practicing.
you are? Okay. I figured you
For you.
might be. You
I'm trying.
you have an advantage because you got one at the house.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
we'll see. We'll see. Next time I'm expecting you to step up the game.
I am stepping it up. I am
All
going
right.
to.
I love it.
I'm going to bring
Yes.
it. Well, thank you so much, Jimmy, for coming on the Shine Your Light. And I really appreciate you and your friendship and your family and everything. So thank you so much. And
Absolutely my pleasure.
I hope maybe this Sunday y'all can come over and I can beat you in ping pong.
Oh, that sounds awesome, man. That sounds amazing. Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it. All
Love
right.
you, brother.
I love you too, man.
Hang on. I want to talk to you inside.